Today, we're taking a look at the NAS3 cases manufactured by Shell Shock Technologies. We're going to show you everything you need to know about these cases and reloading for them, so stick around. Hi, I'm Jeremiah with Handloader magazine, and welcome back to our reloading room. I've got a NAS3 case here. Let me tell you a little bit about it. It's a two-piece design made from a steel nickel alloy, and the case head is magnetic for easy retrieval. They claim to be stronger than brass, and they're lighter than brass cases as well. We want to walk you through everything you need to know about these cases and reloading for them. The first thing you should know is that they require a special sizing die from Shell Shock and expanding die also from Shell Shock. However, you can still use your standard bullet seating die, so you don't have to worry about getting rid of those nice micrometer seating stems you've got installed. We've got our Lyman All-American 8 turret press and a Lee factory crimp die installed in that, which we'll be using for crimping our cases. We also have an RCBS Matchmaster powder dispenser here, which we'll be using as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and walk you through the reloading process. So the first step is to take your sizing die and an Allen key and loosen the top cap screw. You don't have to back it out completely, just loosen it up enough to where the pusher here will float freely, like so. Take the die, insert it into the press, and raise the ram. You're going to screw the die in until it comes in full contact with the shell holder. You want to ensure the body is contacting the shell holder and not the pusher. So from here, I like to back it out 1/8 to 1/4 turn. Then I'll tighten my lock ring, and you can tighten your set screw. Lower the ram, take your Allen key, and tighten the cap screw until you feel some resistance. This adjustment can be made on the fly as you're reloading for proper feel. Take your case and apply some case lubricant. We're using Hornady Unique Case Lube. Put a light coating on the case, insert it into the shell holder, run it up into the die, and like so. You'll notice that noise. That noise is the pusher ejecting the case out. This prevents you from tearing the case head. The next step is to take your expander die and set that up. So the first thing you want to do is unscrew the cap screw. Get that nice and loose so that the plunger here moves freely. Set that in the die. Take your sized case, insert it into the shell holder, raise the ram up, and screw the die down until it comes in contact with the bottom of the case. From there, lower the ram and screw the die in about 3 turns. I like to go a little further, just from experience. I've noticed I get a little bit of play in that adjustment there. And then you want to take your Allen key and tighten the cap screw down until you feel resistance. And this can be adjusted on the fly as well. You just want to make sure it's ejecting the cases nicely. Run the case into the die. Then I just like to take a bullet to check the case flare, but you can also use calipers to measure it. And as you can see, we're pretty close right there. I think I want just a little bit more. You want to move in very small adjustments. The case flare will really creep up on you. That's perfect. That's nice and straight, no issues. So now that we have our dies set up, we're going to go ahead and lube some cases, and I'm going to start the reloading process. The only other die you'll need is a standard bullet seating die, and we'll be using one from our CBS. and we're going to walk you through start to finish how to reload for these cases. It's important to note that you want to make sure you use enough case lube so that they are pushed freely from the die. Next, expanding. Now on to the next step, priming. Priming is pretty simple. We've got our lineman loaded up with CCI 500 small pistol primers. The blast shield is installed, and these guys prime just like any standard brass case. Not a whole lot to see here. Perfect. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the next step, which will be dispensing powder. So we've got our Matchmaster calibrated, warmed up, all ready to go. We're using accurate number 7 and Winchester 115 grain bullets. So we're going to go ahead and hit this guy, dispense some powder. Okay, now we've got all 5 cases charged and they're ready to have bullets seated. So now that our cases are all charged, we're ready to seat some bullets. We have a standard RCBS bullet seating die and a Lee factory crimp die installed, ready to go. So we'll take our case, get our bullet in there nice and straight, and we'll check our overall length, which is perfect. All right, so we'll run through these guys. So next, we're going to want to use our crimp die here. Rotate the turret head. It's all preset for a light crimp, which is recommended by Shell Shock. And there we go. Now we have 5 loaded cartridges ready for testing. So now that you've seen the entire loading process for yourself, You can see it's really not that difficult, and it's pretty straightforward once you get these dies figured out. We've got 5 rounds here that we loaded up. They look great, they turned out nice. I'm excited to test them out. And in case you were wondering, you can reload standard brass cases using these dies with case lubricant. Also, be sure to check out our other video about comparing brass cases to the NAS3 case. Thank you for watching, and until next time, good shooting and happy hand loading.